And now I'm a mess. I got water
I've got
on my
a can of
mustache.
rice pudding.
Is it like, I don't know about a can of rice pudding. Do you have to cook it or?
No, just
just
eat it.
Just
down
eats
it.
it.
Straight out of the
I
tin.
just straight.
Yeah, straight out
I
the
mean,
tin.
people won't get the visual for that, but he actually did have a can of rice pudding. It wasn't like a joke.
No.
Why waste bowls?
Welcome to the GLHF podcast.
Hello and welcome to Game and Fortune, the show where the game is utter nonsense and the prize for our winner is exposure. Game and Fortune is a quiz show about video games. Please feel the hype. In this game, players compete against one another to prove their video game knowledge, risking their lives and reputations in the process. Come with us as we spiral slowly into the abyss. I am your host, the reviled Dave Breens, and I am here joined by the one and only Kirk McKean, also known as the Choo Choo Chad, Ragnarok, and... It says on the script, Mr. Crispy. I just want context.
I like donuts.
I guess I'm glad your name wasn't Mr. Cream. Okay, today we are joined by Ollie Brandt.
Hi, Dave. How are you?
Oh, I'm feeling pretty good. Thank you very much. I'm joined by Georgina Young.
Hiya.
Joined by Gaming with Griff Griffin.
Oh, thank you so much for using my full name. Nice to be here.
I had to use the one that's on your birth certificate. It's like a legal thing. And finally, we are joined by a very special guest, PlayStation Access's Rosie Caddick, formerly known as Professor Juice. Professor Juice.
Oh, hi everyone. Lovely to meet you all. Sorry, I love when people also incorporate Professor Juice. It makes me happy because it's where I originated. And it's coming back, so I'm like, yay!
I won't lie. I was really confused just then. I was like, Professor what?
Yeah, I mean... So I did the research before this just to make sure we got all your accolades in, or some of your accolades, and what's this all about? What's Professor Juice?
So what's all this then? So Professor Juice was, before I joined PlayStation Access, I had my own YouTube channel called Professor Juice, where I did comedic videos on, just talking about retro video games a lot of the time. And then there was some, comedy sketches and stuff as well, and just talking about video games really. So it was my YouTube channel before the days of PlayStation Access.
Right, and how is life at PS Access? Because you've been there a few years now, right?
Yeah, so coming up 5 years, which is crazy to think. But no, it's just all busy, isn't it? We've had such a busy year with video games this year. So many fantastic releases coming out. It's fully been a case of just, I'm sure that everyone can experience this. It's just so many games, play them, talk about them. Yeah, games are great because they are great and stuff. And it's just been constantly going all the time. But it's all good. All exciting.
Obviously, you get to travel around a lot as a journalist, video editor. What's the best experience you've had on a press trip recently?
Recently? Well, I mean, recently I presented at the Golden Joysticks, which I'm gonna let that count for this.
Okay, yeah.
But recently I did that with Ashley Millman, and that was fantastic to do because it was my first time presenting an award to a whole room of people as well. We did the Golden Joysticks last year, but that was all pre-recorded. But this time we were on a stage, we had the envelope, we had the award. So it was very exciting to do that as well and dress up a bit fancy because I haven't done that since I was a teenager at prom. So that was probably from recent events, that's probably been a big highlight.
Is it true that Troy Baker was mad as fuck?
He was very lovely to Ash and I didn't get a chance to properly speak to him because by the time that we did the hosting and stuff like that and everyone was chatting away, there were so many people, wonderful people to talk to and meet. Troy was sadly just what I didn't be able to get a proper conversation with, but he was very lovely and very funny when we were standing on the side. So I was just grateful. I was like, oh, thank you for talking to us as well, Troy. Because he could have just stood there in silence and just been waiting for his next part, but he did not at all. He had a little joke with us and things like that in the short span of time before we went up on stage next.
What does he smell like?
I don't know.
I've always wanted to know.
There were so many. There were so many like adrenaline moments going on because I was so nervous and excited going on stage. The smell was not crossing my mind at the time.
I gotta tell you, Griff's the only one asking the questions we're thinking.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I
asking
never
the
want
true
to know
questions.
about. I never want to know about the smell when the room's full of game journals. That's the thing. So
That's the first thing I want to know.
Well, the room, if memory serves me correct, the room smelled very nice.
Yes.
If memory serves me
I
correct, but
always
like I
thought it
said, but like I said, like smell was just a sense. I can remember every other sense, but not the smell. Which is now looking back on it, it feels really weird. I'm like,
maybe
wow.
your brain's like blocked it out because it was traumatic.
Sniffing,
I'm wait a
sniffing
minute.
Troy Baker with Rosie Caddick.
Yeah. How was the touch and feel of the event since you remember the other senses?
Okay, maybe touch and feel as
Was
well.
the
I
texture
forgot.
like rough or
What of the whole event?
sticky tables?
No, the tables had the lovely sort of like silky cloth on them and stuff.
Oh.
So there was a very
It
smooth.
was a silky texture.
Yeah, the silky. You know what? Silky texture. If I had to give the evening a texture from feel, let's say it was silky.
Nice. One thing I've always
delightful.
wondered about PS Access is like you do a lot of list features, right? How do you constantly come up with new ideas? Like, have you got like a massive whiteboard with like the next 5 years of stupid lists on them or something? Because you always seem to make them interesting.
Is in the top 10 lists or like the?
Just like, I don't know, fucking 10 times I got my ass kicked by a game over screen, or I don't fucking know, like, you know, all the weird ones you do. There's loads of them, isn't there?
Well, yeah, just. Well, in terms of the list ideas, we've got the top 10 lists, which are, like top 10 best action games and things like that. So they're nice just to tick off and,
Sure.
those ones are just fun to do. And then in terms of the more crazier ones, I guess you just, if you just sat there playing a game and then you're just like, wow, hang on, there are loads of moments that do this, or like, you have, let's just say typical, like, oh, the villains who are monologuing and you're sat there watching a cutscene for like half an hour because the villain has to monologue before the epic final fight. And then literally you just pop the idea down and then, who knows, one day it might be like, yes, this is a good time for this list. Let's do this sort of list idea. And then it gets made.
Fair. All right, Dave, do you want to take us off with the show?
Why, yes, I would love to. This week, we'll kick things off with 2 truths and a lie. I hope George prepped you for this. Our special
did.
guest will tell us 2 truths and a lie, and the other 3 contestants have one guess between them to figure out the lie. The contestants get 1 point each if they win, but Rosie will get 3 if she wins.
Yeah.
It's all on the line.
Rosie, do you want to speak your truths?
Okay, so my truths are, I approached this, I was looking back on what stories I can tell, and I've kind of got 3 different stories from different points in my life related to video games. So let's do the first one. When I had my first part-time job, I used to work at a wedding venue, and what I used to do was when we were closing down the venue because it was the end of the day, the venue was just like this big echoey building. So to make it a bit more fun for me, I pretended I was in a Resident Evil game, and literally every corridor I walked down, I pictured like the locked camera angles, and then some rooms I walked in, I pretend that there was just a zombie in there waiting for me and stuff like that. So that's the first story I've got for you. The second story is that when I was learning how to drive, I asked my driving instructor if I could sing a little song, and that song was Instructor Mussolini's driving lesson car or song from Parappa the Rapper, the second stage rap. So that is my second fun story. And my third one is from more recent just life with video game stuff. It's that I only own 1 vinyl, and that vinyl is for Vib Ribbon, but I don't own a vinyl player.
Before we move on, I just want to say, wow, Parappa the Rapper keeps coming back.
He does, doesn't
He is like a mainstay on this podcast, right next to Blinks the Time Sweeper.
I love Parappa the Rapper. Parappa the Rapper he's my little guy. I love him so much. So literally, I'm always, any opportunity, I'm like, Parappa the Rapper.
Yeah, it comes
You
up in
can't-
every episode somehow.
You can't mention Blinks the Time Sweeper. This is a PlayStation episode, Dave.
Oh, sorry,
It's
sorry.
illegal.
Yeah.
It's illegal.
As we've established in earlier episodes, George, we must respect the dead. Don't talk
Yeah.
about Blinks.
Yeah, true.
That's why I have a death room.
Okay. Now, I have a question. I would like to hear Rosie's impression of that song from Parappa the Rapper, please, to see if you remember it.
Sorry, we
So-
have 3 questions to figure this out. And one of
This
them is,
she's
can you
done-
please give
But-
us?
That's it. That's
But-
one of
It's
them.
a good question.
If she doesn't remember it, then it's probably a lie. That's why. I have got
That's fair.
theories.
Got theories. Okay, so I was in the car, and this was at the lesson where they were like, "Oh, we're gonna teach you how to drive. Try putting on the radio for a bit of background noise." So I did, and then I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna have one chance to ask this whilst I'm learning to drive. So I sat there driving along, and I was going, "All right, we're here, just sitting in the car. I want you to show me if you can get far. Step on the gas." And then I did the pause. And then in my little voice, I was like, "Step on the gas. Step on the brakes. Step on the brakes." My instructor was just like, "What is this child doing?"
I hope
Now
you weren't
step
doing
on
that down the
gas.
motorway.
No, it wasn't down the motorway. It was down a road that I knew. I was like, I know this road. But it was also learning how to communicate. Anyway, sorry. Step on the brakes. Step on the brakes. Now step on the gas. Step on the gas. Well, I say boom, boom, boom. You say bam, bam, bam. No corners in between. Come on, let's jam. Step on the gas. Step on the gas. Step on the brakes. How long would you like me to go, by the way?
That's enough. That's
That
enough.
was good. Okay, we have ascertained that she does know all the words to that song.
Very scientific experiment there, George.
I'm picturing her going down the road in a car, just stepping on the brakes every 5 seconds, and it's giving me.
I didn't actually do that. I was just singing the song. As tempted as I would have been to actually have done the movements, I do not think that would have done well in a driving lesson.
Ollie, I know that you've got a burning question, I can tell.
I do, actually. You said that you had the Vib Ribbon vinyl.
Yes.
It's the only vinyl you own. I actually happen to own that as well. So just for the sake of, seeing if you actually do own it, what does the slipcover and disc look like?
The end disc. Well, so wait, when you say end disc, is that like the other side of the vinyl, or?
He said
he's
and.
Australian.
I'm
sorry,
Australian.
sorry. So the sleeve, the disc is white, and then the sleeve has just got the little see-through things for it. So when you put the disc in the sleeve, that's where you get Vib Ribbon's little white sort of scribbly looks to him and stuff. Just it looks to her and things.
Yeah, I mean that is what it looks like. So I feel confident about that one.
Convincing.
Griff, it's
all
down to you to figure it out.
Well, I'm trying not to ask anything about smells, so maybe let's go back to the Resident Evil one. When you were pretending to be the Resident Evil person, were you using tank controls or the more modernized system established in Resident Evil 4?
So it was not them as modern. So it was. So what I used to do is when in Resident Evil 1 where the footsteps are like really heavy, I used to try and walk at the speed that the Resident Evil 1 characters used to walk at. And because it was so big and echoey in the halls were, I would kind of make my steps a little bit heavier than usual just for the drama and the effect. So when I was like walking, I didn't fully do the whole walking in the spot whilst turning around and things like that. So I'm not that good of a dancer or anything like that. So I'd walk, and then I guess I just sort of walked normally, but it wasn't as fast paced as Resident Evil 4, where I was doing a little jog and being able to do the smooth quick turns. I was just walking normally, I guess, but I just pictured it was as in Resident Evil 1.
No knife parries.
That must have looked terrifying to the security cameras.
I know, I never asked.
I mean, she already traumatized the driving instructor, so at this point.
Or did she? And that's the question we must ask our contestants. Which one of these is the lie, team? What are we thinking?
I like the accuracy of the Parappa the Rapper. I think that's definitely true.
See, I disagree. I think Parappa is the lie. I would also like to preface by saying I don't think I've got a single one of these right. But because, there's a lot of stop and look and signal to the left and that, right? And I think if you're saying that stuff, it's so difficult not to do that stuff. And imagine just going, that's not good. That's not a good time.
Ollie, what are you thinking?
I also think that the parappa thing is the lie. Just because I don't know if I could have exactly gotten all the words right, but I played a lot of parappa as a kid and I still remember most of it, right? So like it's something that you can remember without actually like having it tied to a specific experience. So yeah, I think that's the least likely one.
It sounds like you're saying George's question was shit.
No, I think we got a lot of entertainment value out of it. Thank you.
No,
Dave.
I agree, George. Like, Ollie, what's your problem?
Are you all in agreement then, or is Griff not agreeing with
Well,
you?
Griff's not agreeing, but it's
We've
already
outnumbered him.
Yeah.
I think I was won over by the song itself. I really enjoyed the song.
Well, before we move on, Griff, which one would you say is the lie?
I don't buy the Resident Evil thing, because I don't know if anyone would be that deranged to do that in real life. No offense.
Fair enough. Okay. Rosie, please reveal the truth.
So my lie was that I didn't sing the Parappa the Rapper song whilst learning how to drive, but I was so tempted to. Every lesson I kept on thinking, do I do it? Do I ask? Do I ask if I can sing the song?
Yeah.
Every single lesson I really wanted to, but I never did.
I'm actually in agreement with George and I's choice here, because I know that I would be deranged enough to pretend there are zombies in a big warehouse. Like,
Oh yeah, for sure.
I would absolutely do that, Griff. Like,
That's
you
a
just live a
completely
sad,
normal
shallow
thing,
life.
yeah.
I don't know what to tell you.
I was with Griff, to be honest. I thought
Oh,
no one does
Kirk.
that. No one does that.
You gotta look on the
That's-
brighter side of life, and the brighter side is zombies.
That's
Okay.
because you two are depressingly normal.
We're secret normies.
I can tell. All right, fantastic.
So well done, everyone. You spotted my lie.
Woo!
It's my first win in that one in about 7 episodes that I actually got it. So.
I'm proud of you, George. And hey, Griff, even though you guessed wrong, you still get a point because you're on the winning team.
Oh, thank you.
Does that mean do I get no points now?
Yeah, you get no points.
That's correct. Yeah. Since we're joined by someone from PS Access, this week's theme is PlayStation games old and new. Apparently not the PS Vita. I don't know why.
I just forgot it exists.
I'm not involved with making any of these questions. I want to make that clear.
I
And I'm
literally wrote PS Vita in the chat.
I forgot you exist.
And next up, we've got Buzzword, our quick fire quiz. In this round, the judge reads out questions and the contestants have to buzz in to answer them. Correct answers get 1 point, and the other contestants can buzz in if the person before them gets a question wrong. Unfortunately, the judge spent all the budget we had, again, on a radio advertisement slot where he simply said, "We all die someday." So each contestant will need to select a word to represent their buzzer. Now, were you inspired by The Room, or did The Room come first?
I was inspired by The Room.
By The Room,
You know,
okay.
just when you're surrounded by death all the time, you
Was
think
The
about it a
Room
lot.
there before you moved in?
No, I created The Room.
Okay, all right, fair enough. George, what is your buzzword?
So today's theme is PlayStation. I like to do a little impression for my buzz. So today we've got Lara Croft in it. She's iconic. And if anyone's played the first Lara Croft, whenever you select the wrong item
First
from
Lara Croft.
the first Lara Croft game, yes. Whenever you select the wrong item from the inventory, she goes, wrong key. In quite an angry voice. So I have picked that. Wrong key.
And
She also says like no.
Yeah, she also says no. Yeah.
The amount of times I go to a key, she's like no. No.
Yeah. So
I
I
buried
did
that
really.
memory.
No, that inventory is really good, and I wanted to bring it back.
I feel
for
like I
everyone.
just had a core memory unlocked. Like,
Exactly.
that explains some things. All right, Ollie, what's your buzzword?
Again, it's PlayStation week, so I'm gonna go with square, which is one of the buttons on the PlayStation controller. Also, because
It
it's
sure
one
is.
syllable, and I want something nice and short.
Yep. That, you know what, makes sense. I can't imagine gaming with Griff Griffin out doing that.
So I got a standing desk, and my back is in agony all day. So my buzzword is "ow, my back."
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just a cry for help.
Yeah. A lot of people had that from like bending over to change their PS1 discs back in the day. Funnily enough, Rosie, I'm hoping we've given you plenty of time to consider now. What have you got?
The buzz. Well, yeah, literally, I was just like, oh, when you said Tomb Raider, I was like, no, it would have been such a good one. But I'm going to do the first half of when, just keeping with the Parappa theme, the first half of when you fail and then you get the game over and it goes, so I'm just going to go,
You know what? George has had a very similar buzzword in the past.
What was it?
I had crack, which
That
is
was
my Parappa
that
impression.
was the most recent one. I swear, at one point you just said,
Yeah, I feel like there's been
Oh no! I can change my. I'll change my sound.
No, your sound is
no.
good. Your sound is
Yeah.
good.
I
like
like it.
inspiration. Of
I'll
my
just
mind.
think it's George's boyfriend leaving the room again. Question 1. Which Final Fantasy summon appears in PS1 RPG Vagrant Story?
Wrong key. It's good, right?
yes, it's good.
You say it with such aggression as well. Wrong key.
I love Vagrant Story. I think it's E3.
It is.
Oh, I was
Yeah.
thinking that. I was
Yeah.
gonna guess.
Oh
Imagine a
yeah.
little sound effect now, because you get one. There you go.
Mm.
Okay. Question 2. Which game was Devil May Cry originally going to be?
Eh.
Rosie?
Resident Evil 4.
Yes.
Yes, I got a point.
You got a point.
Yay!
Okay. Which famous person was Nathan Drake's appearance inspired by?
Ow, my back. Was it Francis Drake?
No, that's a historic. I'm on about his
yeah.
appearance as like a character, not like his background.
A look-alike almost.
Ah,
Yeah.
I retract that answer.
Wrong key.
Go on,
George?
Guess it's Indy. Indiana
No.
Jones.
I mean,
You
you
said
know,
that with such
I feel like
confidence.
that's the vibe, but not the look.
It's
the
a little
vibe?
Harrison Fordy, isn't it? It's a little Harrison Fordy.
Yeah. Is anyone
Oh,
else
is it like
got a
what
chance to
actor is
guess?
he based on?
Basically, but you can't take the
You've
point
gone
now.
now,
Because
Griff.
you've gone.
Ah, what?
I
You
know.
can only answer once. I've got it. I've got it
Yeah.
in my back pocket.
Wait,
Wrong key.
No, we have to give it to Ollie and Rosie first. Ollie
I'll
and
have to
Rosie
see if
got
they get
guesses.
it. If I'll let you have a chance. If
Oh,
you
that's-
get
I'm
that.
thinking, but
I think, Ollie, you got anything?
No, I don't know actors or
All right,
celebrities.
Griffin,
so-
you got this. What have you got?
Nolan North.
Oh my god.
No.
Kirk.
I will say though, there's a very good little fake Uncharted trailer with that other Nathan.
It's not him either.
and they look right like him.
Yeah,
it does look right like
It does
him.
look right
Right
like
like-
him. It does look right like him.
Yeah.
Okay, I
It
think we've got to
was,
time this one
I
out.
know. I'm still thinking. I've still been thinking. I know Solid Snake, but
Sorry, Rosie.
I know. It's kind of, pass.
It was Johnny Knoxville.
What?
What? Where was that
I don't even
confirmed?
know who that is.
You what?
Jackass!
Jackass man.
Jackass man!
You don't know who Johnny Knoxville is?
I've never seen that. I don't know who this person is.
Well,
That's-
you'll see that they look nothing like Nathan Drake.
Who is Johnny Knoxville with Rosie Caddick?
Yeah,
That's the name of
now
this
the whole
episode.
podcast has changed. Don't worry about this quiz. Just educate me now. Make this an educational podcast.
Okay. In child-friendly video game Ratchet and Clank from 2002, what happens to the hoverboard girl if you constantly flip around near her?
Wrong key.
Yeah?
I assume it's like a beheading or something.
Oh dear, that's the normal thing to assume.
I'm sorry, George, that's the wrong answer.
It is. I mean, it is as unexpected as that, but it's not.
Oh,
that.
okay.
Sorry. Out my back.
Go on, George.
I swear, her boobs get bigger.
Excuse
They
me?
do.
Really?
Yes. Why?
that an error?
Why is
Is
that
that-
a thing? No,
that an
it's
error
not.
or
It's an Easter
intentional?
egg. It's intentional.
It's only if you go
It's like
looking
in-
for it, and I was.
I can't believe you knew that, Griff. I didn't know it until I
Griff,
did
you
this
did
quiz.
what? How many flips did you do?
It kind of came up in my YouTube recommendations for some reason. Don't know why.
For some reason.
I know all the most useful video game facts.
All right. What do the Japanese voice actors behind Metal Gear Solid 4's Big Boss and Solid Snake have in common with their characters?
I feel like I'm learning so much on this podcast from these
That's
questions.
it.
We
They
always
say, "Oh,
do.
it's hard." I'm like, "Yeah, but you're learning."
It's all a learning experience. We get it wrong, but we're learning.
Yeah.
Wrong key.
Go on.
Judge.
Is it like missing eyes or missing bits?
First it's missing a head, now it's missing eyes or missing bits. Are
Yeah,
you
there's
alright?
definitely a theme in
I
this
just
episode.
try and make an educated guess. I would like to say though as well, Metal Gear, Ratchet and Clank, Vagrant Story, all of those available on the PlayStation Vita. So you're doing all right, Kurt.
Oh, alright then. Okay.
Okay, right.
Thanks. Anyone else want to guess?
It was Big Boss and who was the other character?
And Solid Snake.
And Solid Snake.
And their actors have something in common with the characters they play. Like how they are. I don't want to give you.
they are.
I almost went too far and gave you too much of a
Square.
hint there. I
Go on,
almost
Ollie.
went too far.
Are they related? Is
Yes.
that it?
Specific.
Is it like
Yes.
a father and son? That's
Yes.
the
Give-
relationship.
give away the
I
point.
thought it might have been the
Yes.
same voice actor for both of them. I was like, oh, is this going to be a trick question? I was literally going to go, it's the same guy.
They're not the
Dun,
same
dun,
guy.
dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay.
No, Ollie got it. Okay.
Well done, Ollie.
Thank you.
Which game series did Sony say Killzone would kill?
Wrong
Oh,
key.
yeah, out my back.
That's George.
It's COD, isn't it?
No, it's
The
not.
COD killer.
Moving on to Griff.
It was Halo.
It was Halo. It's Griff's world and you're all just living in it.
Yeah.
I'm just living in it, learning. I'm loving this. I feel like I've always known so many random facts, but I haven't heard any of these apart from the Devil May Cry one. So I'm feeling just like-
Honestly, I haven't heard of most of them until I research some questions to fucking bring up, so don't worry about it.
Killzone is also on the PlayStation Vita.
Oh, shut up, George.
I really want to see this Vita dedicated room now.
You don't want to see the death room?
I mean, as tempted as I am,
It's just
the PlayStation
taxidermy
Vita
ferrets.
room.
It's just ferrets wall to wall and a statue of Karl Marx.
In a way, the Vita is kind of a death room, considering the handheld is kind of dead on arrival.
It is,
Yeah.
How many recruitable characters are there in PS1 RPG Suikoden 2?
Wrong key.
George?
8.
No.
You know, I understand why you
Square.
guessed that.
I don't know, like 30?
No.
Rosie.
Go on, Rosie.
I was going to say 6.
No.
Griffy
Go on,
Griff.
Griff. Just throw a number
At
out
our
there.
back, it is. Everyone knows this. It's 10.
It's 100.
I gotta tell you.
Ah,
Wow, that's a lot more than 6.
I gotta tell you, Griff understands the rules intuitively. He always buzzes in. Other people get warned if they don't buzz in, they won't get
Yeah.
the point.
no, I'm not buzzing in. I genuinely am in agony.
Romancing Saga has 8. Thank you.
Thanks!
It wasn't on the quiz.
No one cares!
More bad facts.
All right, Kirk. What are the scores?
At the end of that round, Rosie has 1 point,
Yay!
Oliver has 2, George has 2, and Griff is in the lead with 3 whopping points.
Oh my god!
Ow, my back.
Next up is a round of That Motherfucker Back There Is Not Real. The judge will give you a series of character names or game titles from PlayStation's history, and you have to buzz in to say which motherfucker is made up.
So you'll get 4 points if you buzz in and get it straight away, but every time someone gets it wrong, a point's docked off because obviously it gets easier. So here are some motherfuckers who are not real, probably. First up, we've got PS1 games. LSD Dream Emulator, Armadillo Killers, Pepsi Man, and Power Shovel.
Wrong key.
That was an 8.
The second game, the armadillo one.
It is. 4
Yes.
points to Rosie. Oh, she's in the
Pepsi
lead.
Man's so famous. You might as
Pepsi
well
Man?
have said Tomb Raider.
Pepsi Man, Tomb Raider.
It's only famous in Japan, George. You're only saying that because you're Japanese.
No,
Yeah.
it's famous because it's funny.
That too.
You know, Pepsi
Okay.
for TV game.
Are you going to keep talking?
Yeah.
The deadpan in Kirk's face just then.
Oh no, this is normal. He's always rude to me. He doesn't like it when people have fun. He doesn't like the joy in the podcast.
I'm the judge! Now we've got PS2 games. Gun Time, Mr. Mosquito, Stretch Panic, and The Adventures of Cookie and Cream.
Wrong key.
George.
It's the top one.
What, Gun Time?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Mr. Mosquito, I played. You play a mosquito and you go around and you bite people.
You have to
That's literally
sneakily
it.
bite people, isn't it? And if they spot you, then it's like, oh, you got to go away.
I always
And then-
thought that Mr. Mosquito was the first boss from the first Rayman game. They always look the same.
Yeah, I mean, it's also a mosquito, yeah.
Yeah.
And the controls are horrendous.
You done?
Yep.
Next up, we've got Metal Gear Solid characters. Pacifica Ocean, Fat Man, Pistol Panther, and Hot Coldman.
Wrong key.
How am I back?
I'm saying
That
it's
was George, then Rosie, then Griff. You gotta
Yeah.
be quicker. I know your back's hurting, Griff.
It's the last one.
What, Hot Coldman? No, it's
Yeah.
not.
Oh,
No, it's
cringe.
Cold Hotman.
The third one.
What, Pistol Panther?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Eh.
There's something like that though in there.
Yeah, there's
I
Revolver
mean, they're all
Ocelot.
fucking weird. Alright,
They're all
la-
a Pistol Panther, yeah.
Yeah. It's
You
Revolver Ocelot you're thinking of, George.
Oh, that it is Revolver Ocelot.
Oh, I didn't even think of like the link there.
I didn't when I wrote it. What the fuck?
You are very smart, Kirk. You did all of that brilliantly, and it's a very clever made-up name.
Thank you,
an
thank you.
accident. Oh my god.
Yeah, just take out the bit where I said I didn't think of that. Last up, we've got Resident Evil. Hank Goodman, Joseph Frost, Steve Burnside, and Forrest Speyer.
Square.
How am I back?
Monkey.
It's Ali I heard, and then
And then
Griff.
I'm back, yeah.
I want to say the second one.
What, Joseph Frost?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's real.
sure.
Griff?
Griff.
Hank Goodman.
Hank Goodman is correct.
I thought that was the only one I was sure of.
Yeah, that's the only one I was sure
There
of
was
as
two I
well.
was debating. There was two I was debating, and
I'm
that's
not-
why I was like,
I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I've read up Resident Evil lore, and the only one I recognise was Steve Burnside. So
Yeah, they're all like, the ones who die before you get there. in
yeah,
Resident
yeah,
Evil.
yeah. It wasn't Steve like in the chopper or something in RE1, some shit like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Jesus.
I
Right,
remember
yeah.
Forrest's body was in the garden at the end because I used to have a massive strategy guide, and there was a lot of intel about Forrest.
isn't Forrest the one who gets like pecked by where you find them by the crows, and then Barry Burton goes,
Yeah.
"It's Forrest." Oh my god! Like that's why as soon as I heard
perfect.
Forrest, I was like, "Yes, Forrest represents."
We are on to the last round, and I hope you're ready because it's everyone's favourite, and it's called Rate Your Stars Right. The judge will choose, 22. I say it again,
Oh my
22
God.
games. I know, the longest Rate Your Stars Right yet. And you have to guess whether the next game in the sequence has a higher or lower Metacritic rating than the one previous. You get 1 point for each game gets guessed correctly, and it's passed on to the next player if you get one wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, oh.
So
Monkey
we're
mode. Oh, oh.
So we're going to start with Oliver, and then George, then Griff, then Rosie, because that's in order of least to most points. So, Oliver, we're starting with Days Gone, which has a Metacritic score.
Just a good starting point. Just a good starting point.
Yeah, of 71.
Stop!
Is Resistance 2 higher or lower?
Oh, higher.
Yep.
Oh,
Clean
Is,
sweep.
is Silent
Sweep.
Hill higher or lower than Resistance 2?
Oh, it's got to be higher, right?
It's not.
The clean sweep's over.
What? The first Silent Hill
Immediately,
game.
Dave coming in. The clean sweep's over. That's it. We're done.
Yeah.
All right, Griff. Is Driver higher or lower than Silent Hill?
Oh, Driver. I remember it being really good. Yeah, it's higher.
It is higher. Griff, is Returnal higher or lower than Driver?
Much, much lower.
I mean, it is lower, so I'll give you it. Is Silent Hill 2 higher or lower than Returnal?
Oh, here we go. This is a Clash of the Titans here. I'm going to say it's... oh, my God. This is so hard. Lower.
It's not lower.
Ah.
The
I'm
sweep
sorry.
has ended.
That's it. All right, it's on to George. Is Devil May Cry higher or lower than Silent Hill 2?
Yeah.
It is higher.
Oh yeah.
I thought you were just saying hello, George.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did. Is Journey higher or lower than Devil May Cry?
That's hard because some game journos are quite wanky.
True.
Ollie like that. I'll say lower. It's got because that's a high one to beat, isn't it?
It is lower.
Mm.
Is Metal Gear Solid 4 higher or lower than Journey?
Higher.
Yep.
I would have got that
Clean
wrong.
sweep.
One wrong, I reckon.
Clean sweep.
Yeah, let's
Clean
go,
sweep,
George.
clean sweep.
Is Metal Gear Solid 3 higher or lower than Metal Gear Solid 4?
It's going to be lower.
It is lower. I don't
Yeah.
know why it's lower, but
Yeah,
it is.
yeah. It's one of those. It's one of those.
Is God Hand higher or lower than Metal Gear Solid 3?
Oh god. Now you've got to guess. Is that one of those? Or is it just genuine? We'll go lower. We'll believe in people.
It is lower.
Okay.
Is
Go
Ghost of
good.
Tsushima higher or lower than God Hand?
Higher because it's recent.
Yep. Fucking hell, George. Take it.
I love a bit of Metacritic, me. That's my weekend.
Oh, do you want to go to the cinema, see something, play a game? You're like, no, just give me that Metacritic. I want to see all the numbers.
Just want to know what's good.
Is Xenogears higher or lower than Ghost of Tsushima?
Lower. That's old, isn't it?
It's not lower.
Ah, sad.
a
It's over
classic,
for you.
George.
Oh, that was a great run, though.
It was. It's
Also,
on
I
to
was
you now.
proud.
I can't believe you hated on God Hand.
God
I mean,
Hand's
it's just-
considered a
it's
classic.
It's
isn't
a
it?
cult classic.
Yeah, but it's not Metal Gear Solid 3. That was my main
true,
thing.
True enough.
Neither's
true
Metal
enough.
Gear Solid 4 though. So
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I knew that was a Saints Row 4. You know, I knew that.
all right. Is Parasite Eve, Rosie, higher or lower than Xenogears?
Oh, man, chucking me in with Parasite Eve. I'm gonna say...
Drum roll.
I'm gonna say...
You're gonna say
Yeah, I'm gonna go...
You're just gonna.
I'm gonna say it's...
This is the longest thought process you've ever
I
had.
know.
for these.
I know, it's because I know...
Flip a coin.
Just say higher.
Exposure. Exposure's on the line.
Let's say higher. Ah! No!
The sweep is over.
The sweep never
Mine
begun.
just died. I was out of all of them. I was like, oh, Parasite Eve, the one that I know is, again, it's a classic. And I was just like, oh, the drama, the action, the suspense.
That's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. Oliver, is Resident Evil 3 higher or lower than Parasite Eve?
Lower.
Yep. Is Metal Gear Solid 1 higher or lower than Resident Evil 3?
Lower?
Oh my god.
Why would you say that?
I don't understand. Like,
Because if it's an established series, people go, oh, it's good, 90.
yeah, but
and then
Resident
if
Evil
it's like
3
a-
is mid.
Exactly. That's
Resident Evil
exactly.
3 is mid.
I've been burned by Silent Hill 1 already in this round. So.
You gotta think MGS started a whole, like, basically a mini genre, like a subgenre of like stealth.
I
action.
did
So did
like it
Silent
when they-
Hill.
Yeah. I did like it when they made you plug in the other controller. That's fun, isn't it? That immediately gives it 10 more points.
Take note, video games. If you just give us a chance to swap
Yeah.
the controllers, we will immediately give you 10 more points.
Yeah, even though you can't swap controllers anymore.
But
You
still,
cannot.
10
you
more
can on.
points.
You can on the PlayStation Vita.
Oh, fuck off with
my
the
God.
Vita, man.
I'm so excited to see this Vita room. All the hype it's been receiving. Loving the little Vita.
Is Tomb Raider, the original, higher or lower than Metal Gear Solid, the original?
Tomb Raider is worse. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
No.
It's worse and lower.
I mean, it is the worst game.
That was just
Is-
Lara Croft.
No.
She was mad.
Oh,
Yeah.
She was mad.
Is The Last of Us Part 2 higher or lower than Tomb Raider?
higher.
It is higher. Is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 higher or lower than The Last of Us Part 2?
Very different genres here. I would say, even though I enjoyed it more, it's lower.
It's higher.
You fool.
I knew that.
Ah.
I'm really on. I've got really good pro skater knowledge.
Okay then.
Was Tony Hawk's
Is there a
Pro Skater
story
on
behind this?
Vita?
Kirk, this is it's not
Why are
on
you
the
pointing
video.
at me?
No. I'm gonna say this now. If the next one is not Pro Skater 2, it doesn't matter. Anything else is lower. Pro Skater 2 is higher. I'm gonna say this right now.
Is Uncharted 2 higher or lower than Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, George?
Lower.
Yes.
It's honestly of the best games of all time. It's like Pro Skater 2, Pro Skater 3, anything else.
Yeah,
Do you know what number it is? What score it's got?
It's about, well, this is, I'll give everyone the hint that I have in my heart. Pro Skater 2 is 98, and I think 3 is 96 or 7.
Metacritic
absurd.
is George's weekend.
No, that's just locked in the box because it's so insane.
I wish you'd be locked in a box.
Pro Skater 3 is a banger though, so it deserves it.
Alright. Is Bloodborne higher or lower than Uncharted 2, George?
I'll go higher.
No.
That's sad. Not as good at Uncharted as I am at Pro Skater.
At least Rosie gets another chance to redeem herself now.
I get another shot. Here we go.
Yeah. Is Uncharted 4 higher or lower than Bloodborne?
Bloodborne's one of my favourite games of all time. I'm going to say Uncharted 4 is higher.
It is higher.
I got a point!
Yeah.
Yes!
Woo! Is Marvel Spider-Man higher or lower than Uncharted 4?
Higher.
No, you fucked
I got 1 point though. I got a point.
We're back to Oliver, who's trailing the pack. Is
Clean sweep.
Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver, higher or lower than Spider-Man?
Oh, I hope it's lower.
Lower.
I'm saying lower. Yeah.
It's not. And why would you hope that?
That's
Yeah,
insane.
classic.
Spider-Man is a much better
What
game.
the fuck?
It's
I still need to play Legacy of Kain. It's one I've got it, but I just haven't
Yeah.
had time to.
I
I've
mean-
had so many good stories.
I don't
Well,
think
if-
it'd be fun to play now, to be honest.
I mean,
I don't know.
If you-
I get great enjoyment going into the old retro land.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
If you own the PlayStation's last portable console, it's on there.
Oh,
I didn't
shit.
know
Oh, sorry. Can you
Not the
remind us
video
what it
game.
is, George?
That's the PlayStation Vita for everyone who's not aware.
You know, I've
Uh,
noticed that George is right about a lot of things, especially about Ollie having bad taste in video games.
It's true. I have terrible taste in video games.
Yeah. So how come you just don't like reverse your predictions and like make correct guesses on this
What
list?
would
I don't
Ollie
get
not
it.
do? Is Demon's Souls remake higher or lower than Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver?
Demon's Souls remake. Well, I'm still trying to process the news that people think Legacy of Kain was better than Spider-Man. So,
What,
in
you,
that case,
you
I
don't
would
think
say
it is? What the fuck?
Well, it was pretty basics. That makes sense.
it's definitely lower.
It's lower. It's not lower.
Yeah. I'm so misplaced with confidence.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright, who's next? George, right? Is Final Fantasy VIII higher or lower than Demon's Souls remake?
People hated 8 for no reason. I'm gonna go lower.
It is lower, George.
Yeah.
You're fucking smashing it
George
today.
knows.
Game
things.
journos have no taste. No
It's
account
true.
of taste.
It's true. We're terrible.
So, is Chrono Cross higher or lower than Final Fantasy VIII?
Higher.
It is.
Yeah,
See?
I think
No
8 was
taste.
quite low.
That's a travesty.
It is. I mean,
Chrono
I love
Cross is
Chrono Cross,
awful.
but what?
All right, I love it as a game. I think as an experience, it's kind of shit.
I mean, that's like life, isn't it?
Let me just say, whichever one you like of those two, they're both available on
Oh my god.
a recent console. Can I just say,
They're also
No,
both
plays them
no,
all.
you
available on
can't.
the
Plays
Nintendo
them all.
Switch, George.
Is there anything the Vita can't do?
You know what you should get, George, don't you? Fucking Steam Deck, mate.
Got one, mate.
Put
Plays
it
all
down.
the PC games and everything.
Put it down. you
OLED one though.
pervert.
Fucking OLED.
Oh, sorry, I'm not like kissing Valve's arse. Apologies.
I would cuddle Gabe Newell if he asked me to.
I know you would. I know you would.
Is Crash Bandicoot Warped higher or lower than Chrono Cross?
I hope it's higher.
It's not higher.
Well, sad.
Rosie, you got another chance. There's only 2 games left.
Oh gosh. And we're starting with Crash Bandicoot Warped, the first game I ever played. Literally, I've had Parasite Eve, Bloodborne, which is one of my favourite games of all time, and now Crash Bandicoot 3, the first game. This is like ripping my heart between what number could it be, and I adore these games.
Let's just hope you don't get it wrong this time.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks for your confidence.
Is God of War for the PS2 higher or lower than Crash Bandicoot Warped?
Higher.
Yep.
Oh, I got a point. Okay.
Clean sweep.
Last game
clean sweep.
now.
Last one.
Is God of War 2 higher or lower than the original God of War?
Oh. It was received better, wasn't it? In fact, God of War 2 has been received very well just in general, hasn't it? I'm going to say higher.
You're going to be wrong.
Oh, no! Am I right
Fantastic.
in thinking that God of War 2 was received
I mean, they were 1 point apart, so
1 point apart? Oh my gosh. The
yeah.
suspense.
I can't
for the
believe how
last
many
time of this
incorrect
show-
guesses there were.
There was
Yeah,
so
lot.
many that time. It went round like, what, 3 times?
Yeah. Sometimes people don't even get a guess.
That's why I put 22 games in there this time.
And then everyone gets them wrong.
Yeah. Okay.
Those last
that's
3
good.
are all on the Vita, thanks.
Right, so the scores at the
Really?
end.
God of War 1 and 2?
Oh, yeah,
We're talking
for
about
sure.
the Vita still. Well, I'm
Yeah,
giving
yeah,
out
we're
the
talking about
scores.
it should have been a Vita-themed episode, Kirk. If you were down with the kids, you would have known that.
Right. Scores.
Go on, then.
Just making sure George has stopped. Oliver has 4 points. Rosie and Griff both have 10, but George takes it with 15 smackaroonies.
Yeah, George, you
Oh.
smashed it with that last round. Well done. Woo!
Incredible.
Would you like to give us an acceptance speech, George?
I would like to thank the PlayStation Vita for my win today. You can play PS1, PS2, and many PS3 classics on there. Also, you can do remote play from your PS4 or through the PS Vita, or use it as a second controller. There's also the PS TV if you would like to play Vita games on your TV. It's the best console
That's
of all
enough.
time, and I love it. Thank you, bye.
And not a single mention of your weekend spent on Metacritic.
That's it. Rosie, it was great having you on. Is there anything that you want to shout out while you're here?
Just thank you very much for having me. This has been great fun. You've all been fantastic and very knowledgeable and stuff. I always get really paranoid where I'm just like, oh gosh, I have to show my knowledge. But I'm someone with quizzes that if I get an answer in my head, I can't get it out. So even though I know it's wrong, I just cannot, I have a blank and can't think of anything else. But this quiz has been great fun, and I haven't had one of those moments. Apart from just me going like, meh, all the time when I couldn't decide, swaying from side to side. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for having me. You've all been awesome. Thank you.
It was like you were
Thanks for
buffering.
coming along.
Yeah. Oh, you thought it was the internet? No, it was just
No,
me.
no, no.